latest audio only podcast, I was lucky enough to have a woman who actually works in that world of like counseling drug users in the homeless world, and she had to do it not under her name because it was kind of like one of those tell-all shows, right, where you talk about the inner workings of how the system works. And one of the main things that she said in the episode is, I don't think this stuff is going to work having counselors as police officers, because one thing I said is, where are they going to come from? First of all, are they going to be government employees? You have a solution? Are you saying?
No, I'm telling you this. That I'm just listening to y'all talk. By the way, nice to meet you, Marcus.
Yeah, I got you the last time you were on the other show.
I feel like I know Margaret just from bar, but I lurk your all's work all the time, left, right, this. And so now, okay. So Jason, you know what you literally just said with you may or may not have realized it. What you literally just said is that we are in a wave of centrist liberal police reform that is actually deputizing and expanding police power. That's what's happening.
Right. Yeah. Well, you have to ask who is it going to be? Defunding the police sounds nice. They can play with numbers. In New York, they just switched school security guards from police to Department of Education and said, "See, we defunded the police," except they didn't. You
can defund the police and also expand police power.
You said you can privatize. So there's school districts who say we're not going to have government employees in the school. We're going to have privatized rent-a-cops.
And you can turn social workers. You can empower social workers to now have police power. I'm involved with all these debates and conversations with my colleagues in different university and college settings right now about the mandatory reporting structure. Right, we're talking about how in relation to sexual violence and gender violence, it's been shown over and over again that if you were a mandatory reporter, it actually represses reporting of sexual harassment and gender violence and sexual violence, right? Because people don't want to confide in you because they know that you have to go basically to the state. You have to go to the administration of the state to report that stuff. So when we see the Democratic Party, for example, or the nonprofit industrial complex, for example, start to seize on and canonize phrases like defund the police, or even install it as the main point of debate, that's when, as Fanon would say, that's when it's time to sharpen our knives. That's when it's time to get suspicious and skeptical. Because the point of what's happening right now is that there might be some really piecemeal, symbolic and ceremonial displays of reducing and reforming the actual formal police apparatus. But what's happening by way of Biden and Kamala Harris and everything that's around them is actually a moment in which police power is expanding. That's what's happening. Look at Lori Lightfoot. I need y'all's help. I'm supposed to go to this event at UC Berkeley at some point in the next few days. I'm not part of the panel or anything, but like a friend of mine like asked me to go to the event. Yeah. Basically yell at Lori Lightfoot, right? Because here you have the first Black, lesbian woman mayor of Chicago, like this major symbolic kind of thing. And she's got this history. She's no different than Kamala Harris. She's no different than Joe Biden.
Don't push back on her.
They're not going to, these are the people they're going to promote. They're not going to change who they put in power. They just, if they're very smart, then it's a woman who's Black, who's also gay, and aren't you supposed to be happy? And she still supports the system. But guys, I have to jump now.
Okay. Thank you, Margaret.
Sorry about that, but I do have to. I've got to run.
Thank you very much, Margaret. Hopefully, when we see more work come about, we can invite you on again.
Yes, I would love to. Just give me a lot of notice. And I can do it. I'd love to come back. Sorry about the
No, it's all good. Thank you so much.
All right, guys. Bye-bye. Where's my piece? There you go. All right, bye-bye.
That was Margaret Kimberley, author of Prejudential.
Something she was saying is like actually someone was like just fucking like been able to kind of like solidify that thought, right? There's like the Republicans, they will lie to you about the problem and they will lie to you about the solution. The Democrats will tell you the truth about the problem and they get somebody from the marginalized community to lie to you about the solution.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's just the modus operandi, like across the fucking board.
The new podcast that's up. I'm actually pretty excited about it because this is a person that I'm actually friends with on Facebook, but she was like, I'll do the show, but if you don't say my name. So we're having this conversation. And, at some points of it, she actually got very emotional and started to tear up because when you work in the world of like counseling people in general, you're always going to make a connection. And it's funny because also too, there's a level of burnout that you get that is unlike any other because you don't want to ever, and she says it, she goes, you don't want to get desensitized to certain things. And she goes, you never want to be like, okay, now are you the girl that got molested by her uncle? Or are you the girl that got sold into sex slavery by her stepdad? Which one are you?
Yeah.
You never want that to be kind of like whatever to you. And one of the things I said, it might have been in the bonus coverage of it, but I said, have you ever gotten paid overtime for paperwork? And she goes, no. That's part of policing. No. And also when this stuff goes third party, when the government says, okay, we're going to go to this agency that has a great reputation, the agency may have a great reputation, but they also are probably going to hire whoever the fuck wants the job. And those people may not be as qualified as you think because burnout is so high in that world. So when Bart says we're going to have social workers respond to mental health crises, it's like, well, the only mental health crises you're going to see on Bay Area public transportation is, and as Dylan knows this from living out here, is a homeless person losing their shit on a train because that's where they sleep. Right? How long is that person going to last in that role? What qualifications are they going to have? And if we're not making people's material conditions better, as my guest said, then what are you really fucking doing at the end of the day? It's just a slogan that sounds great because we're all tired of seeing snuff films on TV.
Mm-hmm.
To hear the rest of this show and more, you can find us at This Is Revolution Podcast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, Podbean, Pandora, and wherever else you get your podcasts. Also, we have a new episode every Wednesday on the Zero Books YouTube channel. This is Revolution.